This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. Fan.
7:05 Power Trip Morning Show. Here we are. Ben Lieber's over there. No timers today. Grandview Casino. Nope.
You wish.
Oh, God. That'd be
man. I'd leave at 9:01 if it was. Let's go. Grandview Lodge, though,
That's the
tonight
one, man.
and tomorrow.
That's right. Tonight and tomorrow.
Well, it might be a casino tomorrow morning.
That's true.
Because $90,000 up for grabs tomorrow with the initials St. Paul Federal Credit Union jackpot. 90,000. I don't know what it is about every 10,000 feels like a giant deal in that bit, but we're at 90K. That's a Grandview tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man.
No major
down.
tomorrow. I know people have asked. It's just a standard game tomorrow at 8:15, but it'll be super fun.
It's free, right?
And it's
Come
free.
in and watch.
It's the right price.
If you want to watch, come on in. Right, Ben?
Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't
catching up on what we told you about.
Something else.
He's just reading some tweets.
Yeah, I'm just reading some tweets and
Fun,
some
right?
replies. It's very fun. Very fun.
Twitter was fun yesterday.
I mean, this is the true definition of rabbit hole, because it's like after every comment, there's even more comments
That's why I haven't
under
opened
that
it yet.
comment. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to click on those replies. And then it just keeps going further down.
Yeah, I knew better than to open it myself because I'd be there all day.
Yeah.
But now I got to do this.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
That's right. Thank you, Zacho. St. Paul Saints came through in the clutch during a 8-7, 11-inning win over the Columbus Clippers at Huntington Park in Columbus. The 13-13 Saints have a doubleheader against Columbus today. We'll let you know when they're back at CHS Field. Go to saintsbaseball.com. Thank you, Saints Baseball. A baseball fan is in the hospital.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, sorry. I got to turn off the night-night music.
Well, he basically went night-night.
Yeah.
My gosh. This video is hard to watch. Have you guys all seen it? The guy falling out of the stands? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he fell out the stands.
He must have been 0.2, correct?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. That doesn't look like a guy that's sober that's falling off the rail.
A baseball fan is in the hospital after falling from the outfield wall at PNC Park in Pittsburgh last night.
Sad accident. Accidents do happen, but, something that you don't want to see when you come to PNC Park. You want to see wins, a good ball game. To see that, it's upsetting.
That's Lorenzo Sauro, who was at the game between the Pirates and the Cubs, describing the scene when it happened in the seventh inning. The man failed.
My God.
I know.
Crazy,
Fell
right?
20 feet.
Ragdolled.
Landing in the right outfield, he was taken off the field in a stretcher and taken to an area hospital in critical condition. In a statement, the Pirates said their thoughts and prayers with him and his family.
I don't understand what he did.
That's why everybody is assuming, or some people that were around him were saying this guy was just hammered. Because the first tweet I saw last night when that video kind of went viral, the first thing that I read on Twitter was somebody going, what the hell is going on here? There's a ball nowhere near this man. So it wasn't like he was trying to reach over the fence and catch a ball. It was just the action's nowhere near him. He just falls out of the stands.
It almost looks like he does it on purpose.
Yeah.
It looks like it looks like he's
half jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he literally jumps out of his seat like he's going to get a home run ball or something, but
there's no home run ball to be caught.
Yeah,
so if the reports that he was completely hammered turn out to be true, it definitely looks like this is a drunk guy that's just not paying attention and just ragdolls over. But he felt, would you say 20-something feet?
21 feet, yep.
I very lucky to be alive. If he lands incorrectly, he could easily be dead. And like you said, he's still in pretty serious condition, correct?
Man.
I mean, that guy got messed up.
That's so weird, man.
He's so lucky he didn't land right on his head.
I
think he partially did.
God.
I mean,
it's so weird because I watching him, it's almost like somebody picked him up by the back of the pants and threw him over.
I know.
It's the weirdest thing.
That's why it looks like he did it on purpose, unless there was some sort of...
It looks like he's standing up to celebrate.
Some evil spirit that grabbed him by his waist and threw him over.
That's exactly what he would look like if he tried to fight a gorilla. A gorilla would just ragdoll him and throw him over the rail.
Check this out. Somebody just tweeted this 19 seconds ago. Thank you, JD. This is a tweet supposedly from somebody that was right behind that guy. I was sitting 5 rows behind him. He was drunk. Inning before, he ripped off his shirt and poured half a beer all over himself.
Sounds right.
He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the hit. He jumped up so quick while being drunk, he literally propelled himself off the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose. No one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another lady. The friend ran to the lower deck in center field and jumped on the field.
I think it's amazing that just an average random person in the stands is capable of doing such good reporting.
Yeah.
Just a rando.
Yeah. He's got a voice, though, bro.
Just a random guy was there and somehow did a really good job reporting the news. That's fantastic.
Well,
it's the beauty of Twitter.
Most of these people should be voiceless, but I'm glad that guy
had a voice, and it sounds like he did a great job reporting.
Yeah.
Good for that guy.
Well, nobody reports.
Not in this town, but in Pittsburgh, maybe.
I'm going to report this. I wonder if it's going to be a problem for the Hall of Famer. Jeff Spurbeck, John Elway's longtime friend and agent, has passed away due to injuries sustained from a golf cart incident. John Elway was driving the golf cart at the time of the incident. Spurbeck sustained traumatic brain injuries following the golf cart accident with John Elway over the weekend. Placed on life support. The crash occurred on Saturday night while John Elway and Spurbeck and their wives and John's sons were leaving a Stagecoach music festival around 7 p.m. Spurbeck is said to have fallen off the back of the golf cart and hit his head on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, you know what I'm thinking, right? I mean, I wonder if somebody falls off the back of a golf cart you're driving and you may have had a couple pops. I don't know if he did or not. I have no idea.
So according to the reports yesterday, and again, I don't know if these are credible reporters or not, or just some randos.
With a voice.
But no indication that he was driving negligently.
Okay.
So I don't believe that they thought that there was obviously foul play, and I don't think they think there was any. He may have just fallen off the back of the golf cart.
Right.
But the unlucky part is he hit his head on the asphalt and died like 4 days later.
Was he riding on the back, like standing on the ledge? You know, if it's
Good question.
If you've got two other people in the back seat and you just want to jump on and just kind of hold on to was it like that?
No idea. No, it doesn't say that in the story I'm reading. Just says fell off the back of the golf cart.
Either way, it's just really weird to have all your football heroes grow up to be murderers, you know?
All of them?
My two favorite players were OJ and John Elway.
My third favorite player there was Ben Lieber. Ben.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen.
Maybe he just hasn't been caught yet.
I know.
He doesn't have to.
No,
you just never know what I do when I leave this place.
I mean,
Can we talk after the show?
The story sucks, obviously. Let's just hope everything was on the up and up. But how about, you said a former agent, longtime friend, and business partner.
Yeah.
And if it was a complete accident, you got to hope that Elway doesn't feel responsible.
Yeah, right.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because you got to just be riddled with guilt for a long time that you could have done something differently. Yeah. That guy falls off a golf cart. I don't know.
You know Elway at all, Ben?
Nope. I've never met him.
So you admit it.
I am guilty as charged.
It's Spanish for the way.
Great song.
Oh, brilliant.
I just got it.
It took me a second, too. What else are we talking about?
Elway.
A woman recognizes the oldest person in the world is dead at age 116. Her last words were, "It's about time."
Please take me.
Yeah.
Sister Ana Lucas died Wednesday in Brazil. Her death was announced by the congregation.
She a nun or just a black lady?
Brilliant. Excellent. Brilliant.
I can't confirm or deny.
What if she's both?
Her death was due to a lack of RESPCT. So I think hers was a life of dedication and devotion. The mantle of world's oldest person now passes to Englishwoman Ethel Caterman, who's 115.
Say that name again?
I believe it's Ethel Caterman.
She's an actress.
Good. Okay, she's a British actress.
Actors.
I bet that's pronounced Ethel. Anyway, I don't know what my problem is. She's thought to be the last surviving subject of King Edward VII on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that really a baton you want passed to you?
No, probably not.
Well,
But if it was going to be passed to anyone, I'm glad their name is Ethel.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's a really old lady name.
Yeah, it is.
She is not a sister. I can tell you. Ethel is not a sister.
Tell you that.
Well, let's just hope in a long life she's handled a baton or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to guess Sister Anna Lucas did not. I mean,
that's not fair to assume that.
Are they allowed? Are they allowed to? Sister?
Yeah, sure. Sure, black people can do whatever they want. It's America.
Do you want to comment on that, Corey? No, for real. I don't know. Are they? I don't know.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can either.
No.
Boy, that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah, I agree. But
maybe she was happy. I hope she was happy. I hope she loved it. Or not loved it. You know what I meant?
She loved the lack of it.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you, that's
lack
what I'm
of
saying.
sweet meat.
She loved the Lord, so good for her, right?
And also with you.
Thank you.
No, she's an actress.
May
So.
I change the subject now?
Sure.
A kangaroo is back home in Alabama after she escaped and caused a minor accident. The kangaroo named Shayla. Shayla. Was caught hopping casually along I-85 on Tuesday. State troopers had to shut down the highway during their attempts to catch her. There were no injuries. That would make you think you were high on the shrooms, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And there she was, just hopping along.
Just hopping along.
Having a great time.
Everything's cool. Everybody be cool.
Think if, we said yesterday there was a 2-car accident, right?
Yeah.
And that nobody in the cars were injured and the kangaroo technically wasn't injured. But can you imagine, let's say you clip a kangaroo. I thought about this after we left yesterday.
Like its toenails?
You clip a kangaroo and then you call your insurance guy and go,
great point.
I got to file a claim. There's a bunch of damage to the front of my vehicle. Okay, what'd you hit? A kangaroo.
Yeah.
In Alabama?
And-
Is that where it was?
They're going to go,
Greenbow.
there's no chance. Like, I'm not approving this. How does that claim get approved?
Pictures, bro.
But I mean, pictures of the damage, but they're going to
Correct.
go, you're
Didn't
telling
happen.
me you didn't just
Right.
hit a stop sign or something?
Yeah.
Nope.
This is
No, I hit a
insurance
kangaroo.
scam 101.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Not when there's roo poo on your car.
Yeah.
That man.
If
How
you've
do you
got the
prove
roo
that?
poo, you can take a picture and eat it.
I mean,
It's
the fact that it made the news and it went viral and there's a police report. Like my guess is, but if it hadn't, how do you prove that you hit a kangaroo? Good luck to him.
Is there just no better way to travel if you're a little Joey? Just in mama's pouch. God, that sounds like it's the best.
Right. I gotta tell you.
I bet it's gross in there.
I gotta tell you, man.
Not if you're a Joey.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Maybe if you're a Corey.
There's a podcast.
Yeah, Corey thinks it's disgusting.
There's a podcast. I got to tell you guys about this. I've talked about it before, but Ben, I don't think you were here when I talked about it. And I would encourage you, if you are a podcast listener, please stay with me for a second because I got to find the name of it. It's been a while since I listened to it. But there's a podcast where things are alive and they interview the things like a lamp and one whole season is about animals. Everything is alive is what it's called. And the one about they interview a kangaroo and it's Joey is freaking hilarious because the Joey is like 20 years old and they won't leave the pouch. It's really, really funny, man. It's called Everything is Alive. I encourage you. They do a great job. Their sound effects, the actors are great because they have different actors playing the things. It's really, really well done. And there's always little facts in there about things you didn't know, like about Joey's.
Yeah, that
and stuff
are
like
actually true.
Yeah, because they have to.
Yeah.
The Joeys, in order to get into the pouch, have to crawl in there themselves. Yeah. And if they don't, they die. So they're just born, and they got to crawl back, Yeah. Like, I just want to go back in there.
Yeah.
Gross.
Why do I got to crawl up there? Pretty crazy.
Now, what a fascinating thing.
It really is, man.
It's really fascinating. I have to check out the podcast.
It's
That'd
called
be really,
Everything
really
is
funny.
Alive. It's a lot, and it is funny. They do a great job with it. One last thing. Today is the first day of May. Happy birthday to my father, Dwayne Hockey. Happy birthday, Dad. I'm glad you're with us. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you were born, because if you weren't, I wouldn't be.
Okay, can I jump in too?
Happy birthday, Dad. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Why did I never put this together? Happy birthday to my mom as well.
No kidding.
Dwight and Han have the same birthday?
Who knew?
May 1st, 1950.
Wow.
No kidding. See, I think my dad's
Wow.
51, I think. Wait, how old is
So he's a
Your
49?
dad's 4 years younger
No.
than you? What kind of weird
How old am
Indiana
I?
stuff
How
is
old am I? Am I
that?
50? I'm 54.
Yeah.
So he's 74. Yeah. So yeah, same year.
Sauce and I, our moms were born on the same day.
Yep.
Bailey
weird.
and Alex were born on the same day, and Smitty.
And Smittyum, don't
Max
touch
and I were
Smitty.
born on the same
You
day.
two were born on the same day.
about
Ben's mom and your dad were born on the same day. That's like that birthday hustle that Amarillo Slim used to do. I think we've talked about it on the show. Like if you're in a room with 30 people,
Oh yeah.
mathematically you're the favorite if you bet that 2 people in the room share the same birthday.
Do you believe?
Right, and on the surface you're like, well, there's 365 days. There's only 30 people. There's no way I'm the favorite. But mathematically, you're the favorite. that two people in that room share the same birthday.
Wow.
So it's hey, look, it's a small world.
It is a small world.
It's
I
cool.
wouldn't want to paint it.
Speaking of small world, do you think if your dad met my mom back in the day that he'd be attracted to her?
Yes.
Does he like Asians?
He likes women.
Psycho. Thank you.
Yeah. And judging by the magazines in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes to both?
Yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you.
Happy
Love
birthday,
you, Dwight.
Mom.
Yeah. Happy birthday, almost brother Ben.
Love you, Moms. Glad you didn't hook up with Dwight.
I mean, at least not before you were born. Once you're born, that doesn't change the butterfly effect from you existing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess, I can't presume that.
Will you please
I don't
write
know
that?
for sure. I
Will you?
have not tracked my mom's whereabouts every second of her life.
Will you please write that in her birthday card?
I'll text her that right now.
Sauce will go through sports after this. The Wolves are moving on. They win the series against the Lakers 4-1. It was not pretty last night, but it was enough to win. We'll talk about that after this. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The clock winding down, and the horn sounds here in L.A., and the Timberwolves have defeated the Lakers 103-96. They close out the series in 5 games. And for the first time in franchise history, the Timberwolves have advanced to the second round of the NBA playoffs in back-to-back seasons.
And you heard it right here on The Fan. Here's Finch.
We didn't shoot the ball well, but I thought we were the tougher team, mentally and physically. That's when it showed itself. We were able to withstand the run. I told them at the quarter, I said, hey, listen, after all that, we're still up 1. Let's go in. We knew we'd been good in fourth quarters against this team all series. We just needed to see a couple shots go down opportunistically. Julius was huge. He had a matchup. He just kept going and going and going, was relentless there. But guys did a great job of surviving, the motions of the game, which was always going to be a tough game.
Hard not to like Chris
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip. Presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
Hey, thanks all around. And the other thing, by the way, speaking of the coaches, Redick was getting crapped on Twitter because of the way that he
happy
handled
birthday, Dwight.
the way that he was handling that question about not subbing out the starters second half of Game 4. Do you hear the other thing that really sneakily? I wonder if the Lakers bench cared about this, but really sneakily, somebody asked him about the Wolves and J.J. Redick, and he's right, said something like, well, they have starting caliber players on their bench, right? Like Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo. But that's a very accidental, subtle way of saying we don't.
Yes.
Right? They do. We don't. Yeah, you're right. That's what we said after Game 1. You could see the depth for the Wolves and see the lack of depth for the Lakers in Game 1. That's why the Wolves cruised in Game 1. And for the most part, that showed up the rest of the series. But I love that JJ subtly used that as an excuse and kind of a shot at the Lakers like, we don't have a deep enough team to win the title, even with LeBron and Luka. This isn't enough. The Wolves have enough. Yeah, we do. That's why we won 4-1.
Do you feel like that was a calculated slip up? Do you think that was something that's been gnawing at him behind the scenes of like, we haven't put together a great team?
Maybe. I didn't hear the way the question was asked, so I have no idea how it was prompted or how my guess is it was about the substitutions and that the Wolves have players they can sub in and maybe the Lakers don't. But he's not wrong. Again, Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo would start for a lot of teams, if not most teams in the NBA. Nickeil Alexander-Walker would start for a handful of teams in the NBA. We do have 8 deep. They had, like I said, after Game 1, 3.5 good players.
Yeah.
So that was the difference. As we go on here, if we can get to the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics, if we get all the way to the finals, those teams are much, much deeper than the Los Angeles Lakers. So then we can't get away with what we did last night against deeper teams because we got so little from so many of our players, and Rudy and Randall basically bailed us out because they both had monster games, specifically when it mattered. Julius Randle was awesome, and of course Rudy was consistently awesome most of the game. You can't get 0 from Ant, 0 from McDaniels, 0 from Nas, 0 from Nickeil. You can't do that and get away with a second round matchup against the Warriors or Rockets or Western Conference Finals against whoever we're going to see. Got to play much better than that, and you can't miss 40 3-pointers. Literally 40. I know, Sauce, you said that earlier. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah. They missed 40 and won by 7.
Yeah. And to your point, when you were talking, I think we were talking about this off air, but of those 40, that's the misses. Now, how many total did they have?
47 were threes, and they missed 40 of them.
And probably 30 were wide open.
Wide open.
Yeah.
Because of the doubling of Ant and Ant moving the ball around. The Lakers' strategy was clearly we're not going to let Ant score 40. Okay, he only had 15 or something,
and he was 0 for 11 from 3.
He was brutal. Ant did not have a good game. All right, then everybody else has to step up, and they missed 40 threes.
Ant, Dante DiVincenzo, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker were 4 of 32.
But that's reason to have hope because they still smoked the Lakers in almost all those games, and the Wolves haven't even played their A+ game. Dante DiVincenzo, defensively he was indisposable, and they wouldn't have won the series without him. But offensively, he had a tough series. Nickeil Alexander-Walker hasn't been able to get it going. Naz Reid, outside of one game, really hasn't been himself either. So they still beat one of the teams that we all were anxious about playing at just a week or two ago. So they're not even playing their A+ game, and they're still beating the best of the best. So the rest of the NBA should be scared.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's an optimistic thing because collectively, that was easily our worst game of the 5, and we still won.
Yeah.
Right? Because in game 2, the game that they lost, they basically just crapped the bed in the first quarter and then played really well quarters 2, 3, and 4. We just had one really rough start and then never could get out of that hole. Start to finish last night, the Wolves did not play well outside of Gobert and Julius Randle. Collectively, terrible, and we still won in a closeout game on the road, right? That's something that the Wolves in the history of their franchise just would not have been able to say. You miss 43s on the road and you play your D- game, we're going to lose by 40. But they beat arguably one of the 2 or 3 best players of all time in his hometown, or not hometown, but on his home court. Pretty good. Ben, your hands up.
So this is where, when I watch some of these NBA games, it's not just indicative of last night, but it does drive me crazy how there's so many times where they work the ball around very well, passing or whatever. They get it down into the paint, and as opposed to just taking a little, maybe a little bunny shot, a high percentage 2. They will immediately just kick it out for a 3. If you're not hitting the 3 and collectively your team is cold. Now, obviously they didn't think they're going to go, they're going to miss 43 pointers, right? But at some point in time in the game, don't you just say hey guys, let's kick the ball around. We know that Ant's getting doubled, but let's look for more back cuts and in the paint sort of things. And let's take the high percentage 2 if the 3's not working. But the NBA, I feel is so geared to we have to work the ball around to shoot a 3 because obviously 3 is more than 2. But isn't it a point where you just make the adjustment? All right, until somebody gets hot, then let's just hit these little bunnies because they're going to be there.
Or the lobs to Rudy, which they finally worked in last night. Or Dante got a nice layup late. There were a couple of nice layups late, but I think that's the other optimistic view of the Wolves moving forward is they are one of the handful of teams that still features a true center, but we still launch a bunch of 3s. So we are evolving to be a team like the rest of the league that can put up 47 threes. Hopefully in the future we hit more than 7, but then still has an inside threat. We saw this last night. The Lakers have no inside threat. They started Jackson Hayes the first 4 games. He didn't crack the lineup last night.
How about that?
And once Dorian Finney-Smith fouled out with about 6 minutes left, you could tell the Lakers were well, now what the hell do we do?
Yeah.
Now we don't have anybody that's tall, except for this guy who's making his Lakers debut.
Yeah.
They had no options on that bench. They had no match for Rudy. They really had no match for Randall because Luka can't defend him.
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
Well, especially after he got hurt yesterday. He was, even more than usual, he was letting everyone blow past him. Yeah. The 3-point thing, I'm not worried about at all. The Wolves are a top 5 in 3-point percentage, top 5 in 3-pointers made throughout the season. Anthony Edwards was the league leader in 3-point shooting, and they got 56 points in the paint. That's actually how they killed the Lakers throughout a majority of the series, because they haven't been very good from three for most of the series. Like we were talking about earlier, they're the only team that was winning or now won their series that shot less threes or made less threes than their opponent. So they did find ways to make it work and attack the paint. And they got a lot of different. I mean, obviously Rudy Gobert can be a threat. Anthony Edwards, we know he can get downhill and do whatever he wants if they ever want to put TSJ in. He's a rim threat. So they got a lot of rim threats. I'm not super worried about the 3-pointers, and they seem to make it work when they needed to. It wasn't hitting last night, but they still found a way to make some offense happen.
It's a fascinating thing about sports psychology, Benjamin, because Jim Peterson last night on the FanDuel broadcast was talking about how if you know you're a good 3-point shooter, right? If you believe in your skills and you are a high 30s or low 40s kind of a 3-point shooter, then if you miss 3 or 4, you got to shake it off, right? You can't go on tilt. You got to have confidence in yourself. But he actually made that point after Nickeil Alexander-Walker finally made one and then kind of did a shrug the shoulders like, geez, finally. Yeah. And he was talking about how you can't even do that. You can't kind of be like, well, geez, I finally, like, you have to just be laser focused at make or miss. I know I can do this. I have to keep shooting. It doesn't, probability doesn't have a memory. Let's forget about the other ones. Just play your game and shoot. And that part about last night's Wolves game, I respect that they said, no, we all can shoot this. Yeah. They're going to drop. That Conley one to break the streak and to really dagger the Lakers, it did feel like, where has this been? But I got to tell you, when he let it go, I'm like, is this really what we're going to keep? I felt so gross about it when he launched it. And then when he made it, I was like, man, we needed that so bad. Yeah. So badly.
And again, that was a wide open shot 3.
Yep.
That was a wonderful
man.
shot.
We needed that out of Mike with a minute and change to go or so.
Yeah.
That was the killer. Saucy?
Let's see here. Zacho, good morning. Your Wild will look to extend this series tonight or go home. They're down 3-2 to the Golden Knights. Game 6 is tonight at 6:30. Vegas is minus 165 on the money line.
Interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, it's been a great series. Unfortunately, hasn't gone the Wild's way the last couple of games. Back-to-back overtime losses. Just a bounce away here or there could have changed everything. They even damn near won the game on Tuesday if it weren't for the stupid offsides and all that. But it's setting up to be a pretty exciting night at the X. I imagine it'll be very, very loud. I hope the fans are loud. I hope they perhaps lose their voice and maybe go out of there without any voice after the game. So it's going to be fun. A little under 11 hours until puck drop. And hopefully they can book one more trip to Vegas and then find their way to round 2. I still think it's very, very possible. This team is special, and I think they'll get the job done tonight.
2 series were closed last night. The Capitals closed out the Canadiens, beating them 4-1. And then the Panthers beat the Lightning 6-3.
Yeah, no surprise seeing the Caps move on against Montreal. Canadians are in the beginning stages of actually middle stages of the rebuild. I think they'll be very, very successful in the near future. Battle of Florida. I mean, my goodness, for a 5-game series, it was still very entertaining, I thought. And congrats to the Panthers who getting their pieces back together and could make a very good run and make you a lot of money, Sauce.
This is the third consecutive year that the neighborhood that I live in has made a neighborhood NHL bet. Pick a team or two to win the NHL championship and make us some money. This is the third consecutive year we've let the ladies pick based on what they claim are the best-looking players. This year they picked the Lightning. This is the third consecutive year we have made zero money based on the looks of hockey players. Paul, your hands up.
Are we going to bet on the Kentucky Derby?
I don't care if you want to, sure.
Hogs Daddy?
Whatever.
Yeah, Hogs Daddy's in.
I did talk to Gorgie in Vegas. I talked to him about that, and he was, I don't know. He wasn't too thrilled about the idea.
What?
Just because there's like 2 or 3 horses that are probably going to win, and after that,
why don't we just take the top 2 out, and then we just
Well, that's something. Is Gorg joining the show today or tomorrow? I thought he said he was going to call in.
Yeah, he said he would, but when do you guys want to do it?
Oh, I thought like you want to do like a big official one. I thought you just want to do one like now.
Well, no, we should have Gorg though. He knows what is going on. Sorry, I ruined it.
No, you didn't. I just wasn't following on. I thought it was just going to be like sort of an impromptu Kentucky Derby bet
all fired up.
versus like a call in and sit on the phone for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to.
Yeah, I'm losing interest.
Yeah,
all right, never mind then.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Horsies.
Oh, horses.
Oh, I love horses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially fast ones.
The Twins lost 4-2 to the Guardians. Pablo went 6 1/3. 4 hits, 2 earned. Final game is today of the 4-game series at 12:10.
Let's go.
Is this a joke?
Nope.
No, sir.
Oh my gosh, we gotta go to break at 7:40.
Oh boy.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh boy.
All right, Vikings news in a second with Ben Lieber. We can talk about the Andrew Van Ginkel extension because it happened since we talked to Ben last. Maybe his comments on J.J. McCarthy. What do we do at corner the rest of the offseason or safety the rest of the offseason? We'll get Ben's take maybe on that. This is the Power Trip Morning Show, home of the Wild, the Wolves, and so many other teams, basically all of them. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Protect.
Well, the weekend is finally here, and we are heading north.
That's right, baby.
The Power Trip, Grandview Lodge, tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll be there Thursday night. That's tonight for off-air fun and games and great prizes. You can stick around because tomorrow morning we will be live on the air playing the Initials game and giving away a stay at Tanca Verde Dude Ranch in Arizona.
They're growing big there.
All the details at KFAN.com/Grandview. Join us at Grandview Lodge.
I'll
hit the post.
What a banger.
St. Croix River, here I
North Bow Lake.
come. Yeah, baby. It's time for me to disappear. Headed to that sky.
Tommy's going to sign up to try and go to the Dude Ranch.
Yeah, and then be extremely disappointed when he finds out that it's just him.
He might be there this morning.
He might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight, though, at Grandview, it's going to be fun. We got a bunch of games, a bunch of prizes.
Love
A rude game of Initials tonight with the winner getting a prize. And then, like I said, tomorrow, $90,000 up for grabs with the St. Paul Federal Credit Union Initials jackpot, potentially up for grabs when we do a live broadcast, 5:30 to 9 at Grandview.
Time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Accessories Pro.
All right, Ben, let's kind of go around the room since we haven't seen you since Monday. They extended Andrew Van Ginkel 1 year, $23 million. And Kwesi was like, look, it felt good to reward the guy for playing out of his mind for a year. He did.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that they did. I don't understand why it's not just a fully guaranteed contract. I'm sure you guys probably talked about that. It's just a few $100,000
$600K short.
$600K short of a fully guaranteed extension. But whatevs. He deserves it. And I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, the guy is super versatile. We've seen him step up and play inside linebacker when he needs to. Not saying that he did, a bang up job in that spot, not his natural position, but it just shows his athleticism. I think, whenever we talk about him after some of those big plays, the pick sixes, all that stuff, and you ask him just sort of, what did you see there, whatever, and he's just nonchalantly like, I watched film. That's in a nutshell when you boil it down. He's like, he's a guy that watches film, takes great notes, has good instincts and a good feel for situational football, and he's able to make plays. And then you just couple that with, this sort of relentless pursuit to the football, and you've got yourself one hell of a player that I think really fits the mold of what we're trying to do here.
Ben?
Yeah.
This might be a really, really dumb question. But it's a football question. In the digital age that we now live in, when you say these guys take notes, is this something when they go back to the sidelines, they can bring up on that iPad thing or whatever it is and look at them mid-game?
So the way that I understand the iPad Microsoft Surface thing to work, I don't think it goes, you can't go back and say, okay, let's pull up last game and see what they did in this situation. I think it's more of just what's happening on the field. So yeah, you can reference, the last series, and I think throughout the whole game. But I don't think that you can go back and say, 2 games ago against the Commanders, they ran this. Let me just double check this and see what they're going to do, and maybe get a tell or something like that. No, it's more about just kind of reactionary, like, okay, this is the last series. I think most of the time when I'm walking around behind them, they're looking at it for like a play or two. Okay, where was I? What were they doing off, this offensive set? Okay, you confirm or deny, and then you're just done. You just kind of put it down. They don't really study them, for the whole like 5 minutes that they're on the sideline. I think it's just more of, we trust what the game plan is. We trust our whole week of prep. Now let's just see what happened in this last series.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stupid genius.
Oh, thank you.
What do we do with our secondary, since we didn't really address it in the draft? What do we do at corner and safety the rest of the offseason?
Well, I don't really know what we can do at safety other than just inject Theo, where we have the void with Bynum. It seems to be pretty much set. I mean, Harrison's going to do what he does at his spot. Those safety positions are kind of interchangeable. It's hard to say that one is truly a free safety and one's a strong safety, because they rock and roll so much, and they ask each guy to kind of come down to the line of scrimmage and bail out. Metellus will kind of play his hybrid role again. So I don't think there's going to be much difference outside of just having Theo Jackson injected in there, assuming that he is the penciled-in starter and he doesn't get beat out by somebody else that we're maybe not aware of. But as far as what we have at corner, you got to think that Isaiah Rodgers will start at one side, Murphy will start at the other, and then when it's nickel situation, Byron moves to the inside, and then maybe Mekhi Blackmon gets that other spot. Or I can't imagine. Now, it's going to work out to be pretty much full-time starter in Mekhi Blackmon or McGlothern. I can't imagine where you see a world where Murphy's not in the starting base corner. You're paying him so much money. He's got to be one of the outside corners and then maybe kick down. I don't see McGlothern or Mekhi being the nickel, so we would assume that Byron would slide inside and be the nickel guy, and one of those other guys would be the outside. So I think that's probably the way it's going to shape out. Now, somebody's going to maybe surprise us. I mean, I'm hoping a guy like, my Kansas State guy, Keenan Garber, comes in as a rookie free agent and makes some waves. Super, super athletic kid, but obviously going undrafted doesn't put him really high on the pedestal. But, he's a guy I'll be watching just for fun, just to get a K-State Wildcat guy out there.
And we've got some undrafted players on the squad that have done well for us,
Yeah.
I mean, and here's one that I'm excited about, Ben, and it took me a minute to find the name because I heard somebody talking about it. Maybe it was our guy Ben Gessling on their podcast. But Silas Bolden, how cool would it be to have a punt returner on this squad again?
Oh, right.
Yeah, wide receiver out of Texas, if you've seen his highlights. Kid can house the ball. And it's been a lot of times where you're holding your breath when the ball's in the air. I'm not going to lie, right? I don't think we're going to have to worry about that again with this kid if he makes the squad. Undrafted out of Texas.
Does Rondell Moore does he not return kicks anymore? I thought he was sort of in that mold of returner, but
might be. I don't know.
Listen, it's nice to have competition.
Yep.
It's nice to see it'll be fun to watch this off season and into training camp. Obviously for the fans, that's about the only time they can watch, but what is going to happen with that wide receiver 3? Yeah. I mean, there's true competition now. I mean, they very explicitly brought in some competition to say, who we can have to solidify that spot. And then, if you're looking forward, you're casting your gaze even forward. I mean, do you do what Cincinnati did and pay 2 high-priced wide receivers? Or is this let's build up some competition for number 3, potentially number 2 in a couple years where we maybe let Addison go?
Well, if you bring in a kid in the 3rd round, that Felton kid, he's your favorite, right?
You would think so.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. I mean, you still have Jalen Naylor that, they were really, really high on last year. I know he had some opportunities where it's just kind of like, you just need to grab this thing by the horns, bud, and just really assure them that you can be a solid number 2 if we need you to be a number 2 and not just contribute number 3. And he didn't really seem to do that. But listen, guys improve every offseason. Maybe he took some big strides.
I believe it's a contract year for him as well, isn't it?
It probably is. So I don't think he's on a long-term deal.
Was he the one who dropped the ball against the Rams?
Might have been.
Yeah.
There was a couple opportunities where the ball just went off his hands in some critical moments. Now, I mean, he played really well. Don't get me wrong, but I think when they're looking for a dog in DAGG, their WG, then I don't think that he really stood out in some of those moments. But again, off season is a great time to get better. Maybe get his mentals right, and then truly push for that number 3 and solidify that spot.
That's right. Let's go.
The NFL fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for his son's prank call to Shedeur Sanders during the draft. Jax Ulbrich wrote down Sanders' number from his dad's open iPad. Remember, right after the story broke, it was basically like the NFL's investigating, but we're just going to move on. Well, they fined the two of them combined for $350,000. That must be a fun conversation if you're Jeff and you're going, not only did you embarrass me because you're a 21-year-old idiot, but now you just cost me $100,000.
Yeah.
Tough talk from dad there. That's the whole, some people parent with the threat of physical violence and some parent with the threat of disappointment. That is the definition of maybe both. I'm going to kill you, and I'm so depressed.
Yeah.
And disappointed that you're this stupid at 21 years old.
Well, listen.
Kind of a fun story.
I just read an email from Lawyer Lambert.
My God.
Look, I don't mind if the NFL is going to crack down on this stuff because it is true. I mean, these are big moments for these guys to get prank called. But then let's be fair about this. How many other players have come out and said they got prank called on draft day as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's preferential treatment just because of the gravity of the situation and who was being prank called. Okay, fine. If you want to do a deep investigation and find Ulbrich and his son, all right. Well, then figure out how. Wasn't Travis Hunter said that he got prank called as well?
A whole bunch of them.
Abdul Carter.
But like you said, like you said, maybe the part of this kid's so dumb because he posted the video.
I get it.
So maybe the other ones were just quick prank calls and there's burner phone or so. Who knows, right? I still think the biggest tragedy is how unfunny the actual prank was.
You're right.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this and you're going to cost your dad $100,000, it better be the all-time punked kind of a prank.
Yep.
All he did was go, we're going to pick you, but you're going to have to wait more. What now? You're going to have to wait more. And then he hung up the phone and they laughed like they just rocked Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah. And did it look like he was reading from a script on his leg too? It's that was the worst screenplay I've ever heard.
You had to write down that you're Mickey Loomis and we're going to pick you. Just a F- prank. At least make it an A+ prank. Hang on. Here's here's how it works. Watch. That's how you do it. Good morning.
Hi, this is Jeff Ulbrich. I'm calling in to guess the initials.
Oh yeah, that's tomorrow, buddy.
I need $90,000 ASAP.
Jeff, your mic and phone are on.
Jeff, we can hear Max laughing through the phone.
That's my son.
Oh, that's
he's a relay hole.
That's Jax?
Yeah, he's...
Oh.
Normally, I let him use my phone to look at porn.
Well, Jeff, guess the initials, and I'll give you $90,000. Go.
I'm going to guess 4 T. Am I right?
No. Sorry.
Hey, go Kirk Cousins. Bye.
Okay, go
Thanks,
Kirk Cousins.
Thanks, Jeff. Oh, you're back, Hawk.
That's weird. I can hear him through my mic.
Yeah.
Somehow I was with him, hanging out with old JU.
No, you were his son.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Sauce, did you and your buddies do prank calls in high school?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody did.
Would you prank call businesses or randos or other friends? Who would you call?
We'd prank call anybody.
You called Rambo?
Yeah. How'd that go? Call John, or would you call him?
We just called. Hey, John. We're looking to fight a war. Are you in?
Give me some trim.
Can you please list off all the stuff you're going to bring to war?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm going to bring a gun.
Is it Rambo's Deli?
Yeah. It's okay. It's about Rambo.
Did you call the wrong Rambo?
Yeah.
It's got to have a grenade attached to it.
Rambo.
Sure that I go ahead and reset something.
Why won't Rosie move?
I don't know. I think he just assumes Rambo knows how to do radio.
Brilliant.
Anyway.
His headphones off.
JJ causes a scene, I reckon.
Yeah, he does.
Rambo's willing to go to war. All he needed was some trim.
Rambo's horny, man. Yeah. You missed it.
You got to get that anxiety out, man.
What is sex is war? You know,
It's nerve-wracking going to war.
hey, listen, war is sex, sex is war, right? Am I right?
Talk about it.
My God. Again, Jeff, your mic and phone are on.
Fan 5 is next. The Wolves eliminated the Los Angeles Lakers last night. We'll walk through that game and some other stuff going around the world of sports, and then headlines after that. Ben Lieber is here. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.